But to start the day, we'll just have a few words from Nick Hockley before we throw to questions for Pat and Steve. Nick.
Thanks, Cole, and thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. I'm delighted to welcome the 47th captain of the Australian men's test team, Pat Cummins, and his vice captain, Steve Smith. It's fair to say that their appointments have come after an incredibly challenging week for everyone. That said, both Pat and Steve are extremely well credentialed to lead this team. I do want to mention Tim Payne, and we recognise that this is an incredibly difficult time for Tim and his family, and we're committed to supporting them. We understand and we respect Tim's decision to take some time to focus on his family and his well-being, and we hope that he returns as soon as possible. In Pat and Steve, we have two exceptional leaders to guide the team into the future, starting with the Vodafone Men's Ashes Series in less than 2 weeks. Indeed, both were instrumental in this month's T20 World Cup success. Last week marked a decade since Pat's test debut, and he's currently ranked #1 test bowler in the world. Steve, who has also been in the side for over 10 years, is one of the very best batters in the world and is renowned for his on-field tactical skills. Together, they're an exciting combination, which the selectors and board believe will provide the men's test team with strong leadership for the Ashes in the immediate term and for important overseas tours and the added goal of the ICC World Test Championship in the longer term. We're also extremely fortunate to have a strong and dedicated group of players, coaches and staff who we know are very supportive of Pat and Steve's appointment. May I take this opportunity to formally congratulate Pat and Steve on your appointments. I'll now hand back to Cole to take questions for Pat and then for Steve.
Thanks, guys. Taking questions, as always, raise your hands and we'll try to get to everyone as quickly and as efficiently as we can. We've got a couple of hands there raised, so if you have any questions for Pat or Steve, raise your hand. We'll start with 7 News Sydney, Andrew McKinley.
Thanks, Cole. Pat, congratulations.
Thank you. Tough.
First fast bowler since Ray Lindwall, first regular bowler since Richie Beno. I don't need to remind you of the history. I think it's 63 years. Given that weight of history, is there a little part of you that admits a bowling captain for Australian cricket may be a gamble?
I think, there's a couple more unknowns about having a bowling captain, and that's why I think from the outset I was absolutely determined if I was captain to have someone like Steve as vice captain next to me. I think we're so well planned these days with not only the players we have around us but the staff. I feel like I've got quite a lot of experience to draw on that. I think a lot of the problems or potential issues around being a fast bowling captain, hopefully, I'm sure we'll be able to work through. So, feeling overall excitement, as opposed to being too nervous about, what might happen.
Steve, is this formal forgiveness for Sandpaper Gate? And is your experience and advice, does that justify why you've been brought back as a vice captain?
Yeah, look, I think I've been in a position the last few years playing as a leader, and now the opportunity, obviously, to be standing here next to Patrick as a formal leader or a titled leader. I'm truly honoured, and it's I think there'll be some negativity from some people around it. I understand that and I get that, but for me, I know that I've grown a great deal over the last 3 or 4 years. I'm a more rounded individual, and in turn, I think it's turned me into a better leader, and I'm excited to be in this position next to Patrick. I think he's done a terrific job over the last few years as vice captain and grown into a terrific leader. And I look forward to doing everything that I can in my power to help Patrick and help this team grow into a successful one, both on and off the field. So, we're both really excited and, can't wait to get started in a couple of weeks' time in what's obviously an important Ashes series.
We'll go to David and Mark. We'll just keep it to one question at a time, guys. If you have a second question, please join the back of the queue. So we'll go to David, Mark.
Thanks, Kyle, and congratulations, Pat. A week or so ago, the chair of Cricket Australia, who's on this call, said that the captain of Australia essentially had to ascribe to a sort of higher moral character than other players in the team, and to a certain extent, perhaps you could read into that other people in the community. Do you feel that you're that person, that you will have to be beholden to a higher level of moral character than your average cricket player and your average person on the street?
I'm not sure about that. I think when it comes to kind of moral character, I'm probably my own harshest critic and judge on that. I've had some great conversations with Richard and Nick, and they've just reiterated their strong support for me and the players and the staff around here. So that doesn't worry me too much. I know with the role comes added scrutiny, but for 10 or 11 years I've been playing for Australia in the public eye. I won't always get things right. I'm certainly not perfect. There's going to be things that pop up. But I as long as I can sleep at night, I'm really comfortable with the responsibility of that.
Ben Horn.
Thanks, Kyle. I just had one question, but I might direct it at both of you. But Pat, just firstly with you, how do you think you'll both you'll work together in the field when you're actually out in the field? How do you think you'll work together?
Yeah, again, I think one of the big reasons why there's been talk around fast bowling, fast bowlers not being able to captain in the past is just the workload issue. There's going to be times where I'm out in the middle, it's a hot day, I'm in the middle of a spell, and I need to turn to people for advice, for tactics, for experience, and that's the main reason, one of the big reasons why I wanted Steve to be vice captain. So I think how that looks, I think it potentially could look differently to what you've seen partnerships work in the past. There'll be times on the field where I'll throw to Steve, and you'll see Steve moving fielders around, maybe doing bowling changes, taking a bit more of an elevated vice captaincy role, and that's what I really want. That's what I've asked, and I'm really glad that Steve's happy with that as well. So we'll nut out how exactly that works, but it's going to be a real collaborative approach. I've got Steve's got such huge strengths, especially around tactically out in the field. He sees it differently from first slip. Huge experience working with spinners, bowling changes, mapping out a game. So I'll be leaning on him hugely for that, and might look a little bit different from the outside to potentially other captains in the past, and that's great.
Steve, can I just ask you how you see that, and do you see that the same way?
I think, like I said before, it's my job to help Patrick in any way that I can, and if there's times on the field when I can help and I guess help the workload with Pat, then that's my job. And I'm excited to be working with Patrick. We've known each other a long time. We're close friends. We get on really well, and I think we complement each other really well. So I think I'm really excited, and I think this could be a really great partnership together going forward. And as I said, it's my job to help Pat and help grow this team into one hopefully that can be successful and one that Australia will be proud of.
Rob Waters.
Congratulations, Patrick. What sort of captain will you be? How will you describe the leader that you want to be?
Yeah, it's trying to work out try to play to my strengths. I think I'm naturally quite a calm person. I'm quite positive. I really love people. I'm a real people person. So I'm going to look to be really collaborative. We've got a great stable of senior players in the side. It's great staff. So I'll be leaning on everyone. I'm a big one for empowering individuals to really own their role and take control of that. So you won't see me telling someone how to bat or someone how to bowl. You know, they're playing for Australia for a reason. So I'm there to really, you know, protect their freedom. I want to back them in, try to remove distractions, relieve pressure off them. And then I think, I guess tactically, yeah, drawing on, you know, a decade of international cricket, especially from the bowling side of things. I feel like I can bring a lot to that role. Yeah.
Mel Farrell.
Thanks. Congratulations to both. I'm just wondering when you last spoke with Tim Payne and, you know, how that has affected you two as you've taken on these leadership roles.
Yeah, I've been chatting to Tim, yeah, the whole week. Yeah, spoke to him on the phone this morning, and yeah, I guess I'll start off by saying just we really feel for Tim and his family. He's just a really, you know, loved, well-respected leader for our team. He's been incredible for me. You know, especially since being vice captain, he's been someone who's really looked after me, who I've learned a lot of. And that's consistent with all the, you know, all the boys and the staff up here. We just really feel for Tim, what he's going through. We love him. We hope that, you know, we see him back in the team soon, and just wish him all the best. But yeah, he's obviously going through a tough time. So yeah, we feel for him, but I guess outside of that, everyone else in a really good place. We're, you know, really relaxed, really confident going to an Ashes series. It was only, I think, 10 days ago since we won a World Cup. So the overall mood, yeah, I guess outside of feeling for Tim is one of real excitement and positivity.
And Steve?
I think Patrick summed it up perfectly there. I don't have a great deal to add there, just that, you know, from a personal perspective, I'm thinking of him, and, you know, having been through some tough times myself, I urge him to, you know, take care of himself and be really kind to himself. So, yeah, my thoughts are with him and his family, and, you know, obviously he's taken a leave of absence, but, you know, hopefully we can see him back soon.
Dan Brettig.
G'day, Pat. G'day, Steve. Congratulations both. Just wanted to ask about the last few days, and I suppose, you know, obviously, Steve, you had the experience of some really down times in 2018. Tim's obviously going through some really down times in a different sense at the moment. How much, Pat, did you have to, I suppose, reflect on how, you know, those tough times that the leaders before you have had, and I suppose reflect on that in the context of, well, how am I going to do this job over the next period, and I guess trying to avoid that, you know, those sorts of tough times.
Yeah, it's tough to see. I think it's really hit home the added scrutiny of being captain, and yeah, it's just a reminder of how many Australians love cricket, and, you know, we have really high expectations. So yeah, you know, some parts of it are daunting, but yeah, you can't stay in bed all day worrying about some of these things. So yeah, concentrating on more of the, yeah, there's so much positive with this role. There's so much I think I could bring to it. So yeah, trying to not overthink it, and just try to be me. Yeah, I guess been in this role for a couple of years, and I've been back to be captain. So I'm not going to be anyone different. I'm going to be myself, and yeah, hopefully that's enough.
Josh McLean.
Congratulations, guys. Smithy, when Pat's bowling, will you know, assume the role of skipper while he's down at fine leg, or will you just continue to sort of use him?
I'm completely guided by Patrick and whatever he needs out on the field. You know, that's my job. If there's times where Patrick hands to me and wants me to take over and do some different things out in the field, I'm there for that. My job is to support Patrick as much as I can and ensure that, you know, we're getting the best out of the team.
I think that will remain pretty fluid. We'll work through that. You know, even a 22 degree day here might look differently to a 40-degree day. So we'll work through that, and I'm totally comfortable.
Daniel Cherney.
Congratulations to both of you. Pat, do you think that you're going to need to rest from games from time to time, and is this going to change? Are you going to need to quit or step back your commitments from one of the other formats in your role? And have you discussed, Steve, the prospect of filling in for a test here or there, given we know fast bowlers need to rotate quite a bit?
I very much doubt if I'll rest from Test cricket. I've never rested from a game of Test cricket before, and I doubt that will start now. In terms of other formats, we'll cross that bridge when we have to, just like any other. Any other time in my career, there's been certain series that we've identified as good opportunities to rest and re-energize for the big series. So we'll see. I'm pretty open to whatever needs to happen, but I'm really campaign focused. It's probably how I think about my bowling as much as anything else. So I'm going to put everything into these next 6 weeks, these 5 test matches, and go from there. You can probably answer the captaincy question, but for me, I just could not think of a better bloke, and a bloke that gives me more comfort if I was to be injured or miss a game. Steve take right over, would be seamless.
I think just from my point of view, fingers crossed, Patrick's available for every game, but if the case is that he isn't, then look, I'll step in and do the best job that I can for the team in his absence, and ensure we're still trying to push the team forward and keep growing as a team, and hopefully we can have some success along the way with that.
Thanks, guys.
Andrew McGlashan.
Hi, Pat. Just on the fundamentals of you being a bowling captain, do you think there'll be moments sort of in the heat of a moment in a test match, sort of deep in the 4th day, trying to win a game, 5th day, where you might actually be quite strong with yourself and say, I've bowled enough now, it's over to someone else, and maybe it's not you that has to do that particular moment of the game?
For sure. I think that's going to be one of the main things I'll have to be aware of. And that's why I'll be leaning on people like Steve and plenty of senior guys around. I'm not out there by myself. There's plenty of people to lean on. Davey Warner's there, Nathan Lyon, Starkey, Joshy Hazelwood. There's a lot of experience in the side. So, sometimes I might need to listen to what they've got to say more than what I've got to say myself.
Cheers, Pat.
Rob Forsyth.
Hey, Pat. Congrats. This is usually such a sort of celebratory and, almost festive sort of moment, lots of hugs and whatnot. How does it feel to sort of have it in hotel lockdown after the week that's been sort of no handshakes with anyone? And I suppose following on from that, what did Becky and your parents and maybe even JL have to say about the news?
Yeah, in some ways it's been quite nice to be a bit removed from everything that's going on here in quarantine. But the guys have been great around here. As I said, it's been really relaxed here in quarantine. They're all really supportive. Everyone here we've both have played a lot of cricket with and got good friendships with. So they've been really supportive. Mum and Dad were super excited. There was a few tears, and just I guess feel really lucky. Becky, her priorities are probably on our 7-week-old little baby, so she was impressed for about 2 minutes and then back to keeping our baby alive. But no, it's a really special time. Everyone's really happy and proud, and really lucky with how it's all landed.
SEN Sydney.
G'day, I just want to say congrats, boys. The question is, we saw the scenes over in the UAE, how pumped and how stoked you guys were after this sort of situation. Is it going to stop the momentum going ahead to the Ashes?
No, not at all. And we've been pretty deliberate here in the quarantine to make sure we remember that we won a World Cup 10 days ago. Mitchy Marsh tries to keep everyone reminded of that when he calls himself Norm Smith and wears his medal around. But I just think we're in such a great place now. Winning a World Cup, best T20 side in the world, that's a pretty awesome way to start a summer. In terms of the personnel that we have for the Test series, barring Payne, there's no injuries, everyone's fit. The guys that are in the World Cup are riding high in confidence, and we're having some really good prep up here. and then everyone else that's coming in has just been churning out runs and wickets in Shield cricket. So yeah, even above the 11 players that play, we've got a whole stable of really confident, exciting players that can step in, and I'd say that's the overall mood. Just excited to get started for day one at the Gabba.
Scott Bailey.
Congratulations. I know that obviously Aaron's doing a good job in charge of the white ball team, and he said he wants to play on until India 2023. But later on down the track, you're obviously a fair bit younger than him. Do you feel like that's something you'd want as well, as to captain both the white and red ball formats, or given the workload that's involved and trying to play both formats, you sort of see that split system of two different captains as being ideal going forward?
Yeah, it's probably too early to say. Mainly because I'll start this role and then I'll see what where we go. But yeah, my gut feeling and probably my preference at the moment, based on nothing, is to have separate captains. Yeah, I think it's too much to ask. Well, certainly of me. I'd love to just concentrate on Test cricket, and yeah, I think Aaron's doing a fantastic job. But after him, having someone who can really take the white ball squad teams into make it their own, taking their own direction. So yeah, at the moment I'm purely focused on Test, and that will stay the same for the foreseeable future.
Andrew Wu.
Yeah, g'day, Patrick, Steve. Congratulations. Pat, I just wanted to ask about the Test captaincy. Is this a job you foresee doing, I suppose, for the rest of your Test career? I suppose something you do for 5, 6, 7 years, or is it something that you sort of see maybe a shorter term, and that you at some point in your career you'd like to maybe finish off just as a player only?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably get started and try to make it, see how it's I'm managing and see how it's going. I mean, in a perfect world, if my body could keep up and my form could keep up, I'd love to be playing into my mid-30s. I doubt that I'd be captaining that long. I think it's good to have some freshness every X amount of time. So yeah, I'd say if I've got 7 or 8 years in a perfect world of Test cricket, I'd be very surprised if I'm captaining for that whole time.
All right.
Thanks, Cole. Congratulations, Pat and Steve. Pat, a different format, different circumstances, but I think briefly you did play under Zahir Khan in the IPL one. So I just wanted to understand the dynamics of being a fast bowling captain when it comes to the other bowlers, like just your interactions with them. And Steve, just quickly, have you also had a chat with Pat about the other aspects of captaincy, like the pressure of getting it right for the toss, and also most importantly dealing with the media?
Yeah, Zach was great at Delhi. I really liked his work. Tactically around T20s, he was just fantastic, especially in those conditions. Just someone great to bounce bowling ideas off, and even better that he was at the top of my mark, helping me set fields and tactics. So I saw it pretty clearly there, the benefits of it. To be honest, I didn't see too many drawbacks. It's a different format. But I thought he was fantastic. I really liked working with him. This Aussie side, I've got two of my best mates as, quick bowlers, Starkey and Joshy Hazelwood, that we've played a lot of cricket together with. So, I hope I can get the best out of them, just like they try to get the best out of me. And then, outside of them, we've got a huge stable of fast bowlers who are absolutely raring to go. And, I've always got a bit of a soft spot for fast bowlers, and it's great that we've got 7 or 8 lining up at the moment.
And in terms of your question to me, look, I think, as I said previously, I'll help Pat in any way that I can. And, we've seen him grow into a terrific leader over the years. And, he'll learn along the way, obviously, different things with toss and media, etc. He recognises already that it's part of the job. But, I'm over the moon for him, and I know he's going to do a great job leading our team, that's for sure.
Mel.
Thanks. Pat, I know you said you're comfortable with the responsibility and that you're not perfect. We've seen a lot of the commentary around you in the past week as clean skin and a poster boy. Are you comfortable with those kinds of descriptions, or do you think that maybe the Australian sort of media and public perhaps tend to put captains on a pedestal and expect something that maybe isn't possible?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, not overly comfortable all the time about that. And I think that's probably really hit home in the last few days, seeing, Tim. I think a lot of the pressure and the responsibility of being perfect is unreasonable. I think it's too much to ask of anyone. And I think you've got to have permission to grow. Sports, we're going to have players come into our side who are teenagers, who are just out of school, who are growing up. They've got to be able to fail and know that they're allowed to grow from that. Yeah, I think at times that sends a bad message that everyone's perfect, that no one's got any flaws. I'm certainly going to be, standing up for players if they make some minor mistakes. It's just, there are opportunities to grow from. It's not always ideal, but they happen. I think we've got to manage our expectations of everyone a little bit more. I think we've got to be a bit kinder and a bit more understanding at times.
We'll go to John Baldock, but what we'll do, guys, we've got quite a few hands still up, so we'll go to the ones who haven't asked the question first. So, John.
Congratulations, Pat. Congratulations, Steve. Just a quick word about your thoughts on the England squad that's out here. Obviously, Australia's favoured to win the Ashes. What are your feelings on the squad they brought out here?
Look, I think they're a very strong squad. It's always a great rivalry, the Ashes. No matter whether we're playing in Australia or England, both teams are up for it and are here to put their best foot forward. And I think England have some quality players. You look at Joe Root as their captain. He's been playing exceptionally well this year. Looks like he's taken his game to another level. And obviously their experience they've got in their bowling attack as well is, you've got a couple of guys that have played over 100 tests and still getting better. So, look, I think that they've got a pretty well-rounded side, and I think it makes for a terrific series. And I think, like we said previously, we're all just so excited to get stuck in. For us, it's been almost 9 months, I think, since we've played a test match. So we're chomping at the bit to get out there and play the pinnacle of cricket in an Ashes series.
9 Perth.
Thanks, Cole. Congratulations, Pat and Steve. I just had a quick question. I know it's very early days, but in terms of a replacement keeper that you're now on the hunt for, a lot of talk around Alex Carey and Josh Inglis. Do you guys as leaders have any say over that? And do you have any preference at this point in time?
Yeah, it's probably too early to say. I'm sure we'll be canvass for our thoughts. Like they'll probably canvass a lot of, players, people around the grounds that know the keepers well. I think you've probably got 3 or 4 guys who could walk in the team and know what you're going to get. And they're going to, never let you down. So too early to say. Obviously, it's a selector's decision, but absolutely really comfortable and confident in our options that we have ahead of us.
Thank you.
Raj.
Thanks, Cole. Congrats, Pat. Congrats, Steve. Just a question to Pat. The unexpected manner in which you've been anointed as a captain of the team, does that expose any kind of vulnerability or kind of, or give an edge to England in the Ashes series, you think?
I can't see one, no. Even Tim, when I spoke to him this morning, he wanted to make it really clear that, part of his decision of taking a break was he didn't want this to be a distraction. Probably another tick for his leadership and how highly he thinks of the team. But I've been vice captain for 2 or 3 years, although I haven't had too much experience as captain. It was always in the back of the mind that this might pop up at one stage. And it's right at the start of an Ashes series, but I feel like I'm really well equipped. I've had a good, few years of training. If this did pop up, and people like Steve, other teammates around, support staff, I think it'll be pretty seamless. There's yeah, there's absolutely no issue amongst the boys. Everyone's just chomping at the bit. So no, I can't see it being an issue at all.
Thanks, Pat. Go well.
We'll try to get to everyone. We've got a few left here. Jack Dobson.
Hi, Patrick. Congratulations to both of you. With Joe Root being the captain of England, is that sort of a challenge that you're looking forward to, with the narrative of bowler captain taking on batting captain and both of you sort of being the number one ranked in your respective roles? Is that something you're looking forward to? And what's the preparation for taking out Joe Root?
Honestly, I haven't thought of that until you asked that question. He's batting really well at the moment. He's had a really good year for England. He's no doubt going to be probably their biggest wicket, being the captain, being their most informed batsman. So I don't think being a captain myself puts any added responsibility or adds to the contest the way I see it anyway. In terms of preparation, I'm a big believer in sorting out your own game, thinking about your own game, not getting too caught up in the opposition, and that's how I've been preparing. I will until the Test match, trying to make sure I keep doing what I do well in Test cricket, and when I walk out there, I'll be thinking about myself and I guess how to bowl well, as opposed to really in depth thinking about the opposition.
Anuj.
Thanks, Cole. Steve, just a quick question on what will be the feeling like to walk in MCG on the Boxing Day Test, not just as a batter but also as a vice captain of Australian team next month?
Well, it'll be great. Any Boxing Day Test match you play, whether you're a player or you've got a leadership title, it's an honour. And obviously with COVID sort of easing its way out, we're going to have a decent crowd, I would have thought, and we love entertaining, we love playing in front of big crowds, and the thrill you get on a Boxing Day morning, walking out after or singing the anthems and bowling that first ball out on the field, it sends shivers down your spine. So it's sort of what dreams are made of. So there's a bit of time before then. There's a bit of cricket to be played, but always excited to walk out on Boxing Day, that's for sure.
Ian Ransom.
G'day, chaps. So congratulations. I just want to ask about Tim. Obviously, his health is paramount, and we don't know how long he's going to be out of the side or the squad or what have you. But are you confident he will get his place back in Test whites eventually and possibly during this Ashes series?
It's probably too early to speculate on that, Ian. I've chatted to him. He's thinking a couple of days at a time at the moment. So we'll give him as much time as needed. We would absolutely welcome him back into the team, but we'll at the moment that's obviously not front and center for him. So we'll cross that bridge when it comes.
Thanks.
Ready.
Pat, just to follow up something you said earlier about how you strongly wanted to have Steve involved in the leadership of the team. How much did you guys discuss that either in the abstract or even after Tim had to resign, in terms of you wanted it to be, I suppose, a joint ticket where you did have shared ownership of the team?
Yeah, we caught up a couple of times and kind of chatted through different scenarios. Obviously, it's not our decision. Who's captain, who's vice captain. I made it pretty clear that if I was given the captaincy, that this is how I saw the team running, and I try to bring Steve along for that as well, because he's so central to how I see I guess my captaincy style, but how I see the team functioning. So we both got a chance to think quite a lot about it over the last few days before we presented to a couple of board members and selectors, and that was after chatting between us two as well.
Thanks.
Last one, folks. Dan Cherney.
Thanks again, Cole. Pat, just to follow up slightly on what you said, Tim, a few questions ago, sorry if I've misinterpreted, but is it right then that you sort of had knowledge of the broader issue with Tim, and it was a possibility it could get out and that things could, you could be elevated pretty quickly, or I've misinterpreted that?
Yeah, no, misinterpreted. I only found out about everything basically the same time as everyone else a few days ago or a week ago.
No worries. Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Dan, and thanks, guys, for joining us today. And once again, congratulations to Pat Cummins and Steve Smith. We'll wrap it up there, guys. Thanks again for joining, and we'll catch up with you guys next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Cole.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Thanks.